The House That Watches. Enjoy the story and have a good sleep. It started with the keys, not vanishing, not levitating or clattering to the floor in some overdone haunted house fashion. Just not being where I left them. Subtle. Enough to make me feel clumsy, forgetful. I'd place them in the dish by the front door, as always, then find them the next morning on the kitchen counter. Then on the bathroom sink. Once, inside the refrigerator, resting beside the carton of eggs like they belonged there. I remember standing in the middle of the kitchen that time, staring at them, hand still cold from the fridge handle. The hum of the appliance buzzed in my ears. The fluorescent light above flickered, just once. But that was the first moment I felt watched, as if the house itself was holding its breath. I told myself I was distracted. Work stress, poor sleep. Everyone misplaces things. But it didn't stop. It wasn't just the keys. Drawers would be slightly ajar in the morning. Doors that I knew I'd closed would stand open, just enough to see the black line of space beyond. The hallway closet, the one where I kept linens and boxes of old junk, I started avoiding it altogether. I'd pass it quickly, eyes forward, like a child afraid to look under the bed. I started keeping the door shut with a strip of masking tape. That didn't work. Every morning, it'd be peeled away, curled at the edge, the door open again. Just a crack. Just enough to suggest something had come out. The air in the house changed too. It's hard to explain. Heavier, like the humidity before a storm, but without the warmth. Cold and damp, almost metallic in my throat. The silence deepened. The kind of silence that isn't just the absence of noise, but a presence of stillness. Oppressive. Like sound was being held back by something just out of sight. I live alone, for the record. No pets, no roommates, just me. The lights began to flicker more frequently, always in the evening, always when I was in the middle of something. Washing dishes, brushing my teeth, reading. A low buzz would build in my ears before it happened, like static building behind my skull. Sometimes the lights would dim just slightly, and then pulse back to full brightness. Once, while sitting in the living room, every bulb in the house popped at once. All of them. The sound was like 100 knuckles cracking in the dark. I sat in silence afterward, afraid to move. Then the mirror started lying to me. The bathroom mirror, plain, rectangular, mounted flush to the wall above the sink. I caught it the first time while brushing my teeth. In my peripheral vision, my reflection lingered, just a half second too long after I turned my head. I blinked hard, spat foam into the sink, and looked up. It stared back, perfectly normal. But it wasn't. Night after night, the feeling grew. This strange latency, like my reflection was thinking before moving, mimicking rather than mirroring. It would match my movements exactly, but its eyes felt wrong, like it was studying me, calculating. Then came the dreams. I say dreams, but they felt real, tangible. The air was always the same, still, freezing, humming. I'd be walking through the house, only it wasn't quite the house. Rooms were off, and possibly long hallways, stairs that curled downward into pitch. I'd hear furniture scraping on wood somewhere far off, the dry rustle of something moving just out of sight. The worst part was the sound. Whispers. Not words, just the suggestion of language flitting around my ears like insects. Never loud enough to catch, but constant. I'd wake up drenched in sweat, throat raw from grinding my teeth, chest tight like I hadn't breathed all night. Eventually, things stopped returning to where I'd left them. The coffee mug I used every morning vanished completely. I tore the kitchen apart, searched every cabinet, under the sink, even inside the trash can. Gone. I assumed I'd thrown it away by accident, until it reappeared 2 days later, sitting on my bedside table with a ring of black water in it. The surface rippled, as if I'd just disturbed it. I didn't touch it. That same night, while trying to sleep, I heard a deep thud from downstairs. Not a knock, not a creak, a thud, heavy and deliberate. I lay there in the dark, holding my breath. Then another, closer this time. Slow, measured, like something shifting its weight across the floor. My house has old hardwood. It creaks under any pressure. But this wasn't creaking. It was dragging. I never got out of bed. I just lay there staring at the ceiling, my fists clenched so tight, my nails drew blood from my palms. When morning came, I found long, shallow gouges in the hallway floor outside my room, as if a piece of furniture had been pulled across it. Only nothing was out of place. That's when I stopped sleeping. The hallucinations started soon after, or what I thought were hallucinations. Objects would stutter in and out of sight. I'd blink, and picture frames would tilt slightly, faces inside them blurry, wrong. A chair would be missing, then reappear. The refrigerator door would swing open on its own. I'd close it, turn my back, hear it hiss open again. One afternoon, I came home and found every drawer in the house fully open. Every one. Kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, even the filing cabinet in the hallway. Like someone had been searching, or waiting. I started talking to myself out loud, whispering, sometimes shouting, just to hear something other than that dead silence. But the walls soaked up sound. My voice felt small, swallowed by the space around me. I tried playing music, podcasts, anything to drown out the dread, but the audio would warp, distort. Songs slowed until they sounded like groans, voices garbled like they were being dragged underwater. Then, it started mimicking me. I'd hear footsteps upstairs while I was downstairs, then those same footsteps downstairs when I was in bed. I once walked into the kitchen and found my own voice speaking from the living room, low and deliberate. I crept forward, heart pounding, and just as I reached the doorway, it stopped. Silence. I walked into an empty room, but something had been there. The air smelled like me, that same blend of laundry detergent and the subtle musk of skin. The throw blanket I kept folded on the couch was balled up, warm to the touch. I saw myself again in the mirror, days later, but it wasn't doing what I was doing. I was brushing my teeth, was standing still. Eyes locked on mine, not blinking, mouth open slightly. That same damned stare. That's when I lost time. I'd come to in different rooms. Hours missing. My hands sometimes smeared with dirt or grease or something darker. My clothes would be inside out. My phone had voice memos I didn't remember recording, just static or breathing. Once, a faint whisper, barely audible. "You are not alone." The mirrors all came off the walls after that. I smashed the bathroom one, threw the bedroom vanity down the stairs, covered everything reflective. I unplugged the TV, even avoided my phone camera. It didn't help. One night I woke up standing in the hallway, no memory of getting up, just there, facing the closet, that same closet. The door was open, wide this time, not cracked, open. And inside, darkness deeper than the shadows should allow. Not empty, not quite. There was shape in that dark. Not a form, not something I could describe. Just presence, wrongness, I could feel it, pulling at me from the inside out, like gravity with intent. I didn't move, couldn't. I just stood there as the air thickened and the house seemed to lean inward, the walls pressing closer, the silence bending at the edges with a pressure that made my ears bleed. And then I heard it, from inside that closet, my voice, whispering, "Come back." I ran. I don't remember unlocking the front door. Don't remember grabbing my keys or my shoes. Just the cold air outside, the sting of it in my lungs, the trembling in my hands. I didn't look back, but I know it's still there. Because every night since, no matter where I stay, hotel, friend's place, even my car, I find that same coffee mug beside me in the morning. Cold, wet, still rippling. And sometimes, in the mirror, I see myself smiling when I know I'm not.